Okay. So, hello everybody, welcome. We are delighted to be here today and privileged to, if I'm honest, with three young people, Maria, Eylul, and Christos. We hope to be able to have a casual conversation with you today to focus on the role of youth in peace building, the opportunities for youth in peace building, and also most importantly, your own initiative, United Youth of Cyprus, which you can see also on the screen. What we will do, sorry I didn't introduce myself, I am Maria and this is Erbay. So what we hope to be able to spend the next 45 minutes to an hour to talk about is a little bit more about your own personal journeys before you came together, a little bit about your initiative and some of your broader thoughts regarding youth in peace building. What are some of your thoughts about what challenges and what potentially you think needs to change in order to engage more youth? But I think let's start at the very beginning. So I'll give the floor to each of you to introduce yourselves a little bit. Maybe we can start with you, Maria. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your journey before you met. Mm-hmm. How did you become interested in peace building? How did it happen? Mm-hmm. And what was it that brought you together with the group?
Okay. Well, hi, I'm Maria. I'm currently 18 years old, but my journey kind of started when I was even 13. I've always knew that I wanted to be active and a peace builder and to bring change, to help people. I've always loved and really cared about people and the issues that they face every day. The first time I ever got active in my own country was when I was 15. I had the opportunity to attend a short course online. And it was the first time I had the opportunity to meet someone that was from the north, teenagers that were from the north, like me. Before that course, I didn't really have that opportunity for obvious reasons. I'm from Limassol as well, and well, I'm far from the borders and the checkpoints, and we don't really get to interact with the other community. There, I actually met many of my friends. We're still friends now, and had the opportunity to create lifelong friendships. And I remember when I first met them and talked with them, I really wanted to talk about them, about peace and about our country, right? Because I didn't know that much about the North or what the youth of the North think, right? And I remember when I finally got the opportunity to finally ask them, ask one girl, if they want peace and unity, unification, and all that. And she said yes. I was so excited and happy. I remember I went to school the same day or the same week, and on my break I told my friend about it. Like, the youth from the North, we want peace and unification. Like, that's gonna happen, or else then we won again. My friend kind of told me, Maria, it's not that easy. It's more complicated than that. But I didn't get it at that point. I was like, well, if the youth of the North and the youth of the South want the same thing, they want peace, unification, they want a better country for themselves, they want to be together, then why isn't that possible, right? Are we not the future? And that was, the first time I ever thought about that. And, carrying on, I attended other workshops, other short courses, had more and more opportunities to meet with people from the other side, and with people involved in bicommunal and intercommunal activities, and just peace builders. Home for Cooperation truly became my second home, and I'm really grateful for that. I'm really grateful for the people that I've met. I'm really grateful to be here. And our initiative started when we went to a short course in Belgium this summer as well. That's when we met. And yeah, I feel like I'm going to pass the stage to my friends and let them introduce themselves and talk about themselves as well.
Thank you, Maria. Hi, I'm Eylul. I'm 16 years old. I'm kind of too young. But my journey started 1 year ago when I first attended to UWC scholarship to study abroad. After that, the email came, and then I saw there's a short course about meet with international students, and I love this kind of things, and I wanted to see Europe and how people how people. So I actually didn't think that I would be the chosen one, and then that one day, a mail came, and then it says like you're accepted, and I was screaming at the house and running and jumping. It was like it was the first experience that I kind of meet. So it was just like so great, and I'm so grateful to be here with them right now. I'm so glad that I met with them, because it's a thing that it's the best thing that could happen to a person, in my opinion. So yeah, this is my journey.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Eylul. So hello everyone, my name is Christos Andreou. I am 17 years old and I'm currently studying at Lyceum of Agios Georgios in Academia, where I'm in my final year. My journey in peace building involvement started at a young age as well as you guys. And I have been deeply involved in both monocommunal and biocommunal initiatives, from participating in programs that foster dialogue between Greek and Turkish Cypriots. I quickly realized the power of bringing people together. I joined organizations like the Cyprus Youth Council, CFP, AHTR, and BWC, where we all met, where I actively participate and work to promote unity and understanding between the two communities. So the team and I came together because of this shared vision through a UWC EU scholarship short course program that we participated in Belgium. We connected and we realized that we could achieve great things together as a team. Our unique experiences and shared goals have motivated us to work even harder towards our common mission of peace building.
Thank you, Christos.
Yeah, I am Erbay. I'm 22. It really is a privilege for us to try to be part of this panel. We are not mediating, as you can see. I think there is no need for us to do that. We are just having a good talk between us. But many of the things that my friends are saying, even introducing themselves, resonates so much with all of us in this room as well. And we have learned a lot from them, and we would like that these nuances, these points also come across today. So maybe just a question to Christos as well, because what I understand is Christos and all our friends, I think you all go to private schools, don't you?
So I go to public school.
Mine kind of public and kind of private.
Okay.
I'm done, but I used to go to a public school.
I mean, usually, young people at this age who go to private school get this opportunity to be able to introduce themselves. But today we have 3 young individuals who go to public school and they are very articulate in terms of how they are expressing themselves in a foreign language. And I need to say this, in a foreign language. So how this English, how come you guys can speak English so well?
So for me,
Go.
in public schools, we do learn English, but if you understand me. So from this involvement to both monocommunal and bicommunal programs, I really learned a lot of English language, and I really understand it better now. So it really evolved and really had an impact.
So in primary schools, I get some lessons about English, but the most thing that I met online friends and start talking English with them, so that I improved my English while talking with them. And one day when I woke up, I was just like, oh my God, I know English. And I was like this, and I was like, wow, I was so impressed by myself. And yeah, and by like attending to bi-communal activities like this, also like I gained confidence. Before Belgium, I wasn't confident enough to like be speaker in there. Now I am, so.
Well, for me, I did have some lessons, of course, but honestly, if like I learned the most when I was like 10 years old, and I was just writing stories in my room with my tablet. It's kind of funny, but of course, being able to attend to these workshops, seminars, and all that, and being able to speak with people, and just, of course, just just learn more words and learn to express yourself more clearly as well helped a lot.
Perfect. I think one of the key things that Erbay is also raising here is that for many youth, English is not a first language. Therefore, it's also sometimes an obstacle. So this is why usually youth from private schools might feel more confident. So I think your experience, the confidence that you've gained through this interaction with each other is also testament that language doesn't have to be a barrier. It can be that you can learn together moving forward. And I wanted to touch upon this to maybe ask you, maybe this time I'll start with Eylul. Can you tell us a bit about your first encounters or friendships with somebody from the other community? And what was it that surprised you the most, or what was it that impacted you the most?
Okay, so their cultures are like different from us, absolutely. But we are all humans and we all want the same thing, of course, peace. But the impact, how can I say that? I mean, I don't know, I'm just impressed how they're like, I mean, when I see someone talking English from Greek side, I was like, wow, oh my God. And yeah, I don't know what to say. Yes. Go.
Mariam, can I ask you the same question? Your first experience with somebody from the other community?
I think, well, it was the online short course that I had when I was 15. It was entirely online, for sure, of course. But that was the first time I ever saw someone from the north that was my age. And that's when we talked about kind of things and just realized how, we're so alike. You know, we like the same type of shoes, we go to concerts, we go to movies, you know, we have our own fears, our own problems, our own dreams, our own hopes. We're very alike. And I didn't even think about that because, well, I was kind of taught to not even think about the north, to not at all think about it, you know, that it doesn't even exist. So as a kid, I did not question it. I just accepted it and did not think of it.
Christos, may I repeat the question? Also having in mind that you have been involved in many bi-communal or intercommunal initiatives over the years. What was the thing which stayed with you the most? I mean, the most impactful interaction that shaped you?
For me, is that I think it was when I was around 14, I participated in my first program, which was CFP. I went to Trolos camp, and the first time that I saw Turkish-speaking Cypriot, I realized that we're the same. We have the same interests. We have the same. The only barrier is what the language, the barrier. But I mean, we had same goals, same interests, same everything. So that's what lasted for me. That we both want peace. So.
Thank you.
But many people your age, I think they're not as active as you guys are, because you guys are doing something unique as well. You guys have come together. You are learning more together, as it says, and you're teaching as well to many people. So maybe if we are to ask about what is it that you guys are now as United Youth of Cyprus are doing? What is it what is your vision? What is your aim? What is your objective?
So, sure.
Should we?
Yeah. So, like, what sparked our idea?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. We realized that in Cyprus, the Cyprus issue is often seen through of the eyes of older generations. Our goal was to create a platform so that the youth can engage in dialogue and realize that we are all people, as I said earlier, and we have nothing truly to divide. And this, yeah. So
You know, I have to say, even the previous question I asked Christos about what was most impactful, at the short course in Belgium, I remember when we were in, do you remember? Sorry. We were sitting on grass and we were talking about the Cyprus problem and how it affected us, and we were crying because it was the first time when we actually had the opportunity to sit down and actually talk about the problem and how it impacts us every day, and about the things that we've had to experience because of it, about the prejudice that we've had to experience and the racism even. And I remember just how we cried there and how we talked about how we inherited this trauma, this pain, this burden even, but how it is up to us to heal it, how it's up to us, the new generation, to acknowledge the pain on both sides and to choose to heal together. So, yeah, that's part of one of the reasons that we want to do this. It's because we want to heal together. We want to acknowledge that both sides have suffered with what happened. Of course, we want to talk about how we want to empower the youth as well, because we have a focus on the Cyprus problem and on intercommunal activities, of course. But it's also about being better human beings, being fully capable human beings, capable of empathy, understanding, communication, and so much more.
So, United Youth for Cyprus, of Cyprus, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you've explained to us what sparked the idea of creating it, what you hope. So, practically, what do you think, or what do you plan on engaging in? What kind of actions? Because I think you have thought through. I mean, I have to say to everybody that the initiative is quite young. It's only 2 months old, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, am I right? Yes. So it's only 2 months old. So it's the beginning of thinking about what is it and how is it that as youth you can contribute. So I wanted to ask whether you have particular thoughts in mind about how practically you want to do that. What is it that United Youth of Cyprus wants to do, and how does it want to do that?
So we aim to organize workshops, community events, and outreach programs that highlight the importance of unity and the power of collective action. Also, we all know that we anticipate challenges along the way, of course. Some, like, give an example, deep-rooted divisions, cultural misunderstandings, and resistance to change can hinder our efforts, of course. But additionally, securing adequate funding and resources to sustain our initiatives is essential. So, nevertheless, we are committed to navigating these obstacles and believe that together we can create a brighter future for our youth in Cyprus.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So, is there anything that either of you would like to add?
I think we're really trying to have this thing being a pan-Cyprian thing, to not only be in Nicosia, because I and Eylul, I'm from Limassol, Eylul is from Famagusta, and we are far from Nicosia, and we know that we need these things, these workshops, this bi-communal to communal things to not remain only in Nicosia, but to reach the whole Cyprus, because there are many people who are like just have not even attended a workshop or even came to the north or even Nicosia. That's why it's really important to bring these things to them if they cannot be here.
How do you guys manage to keep the interaction going between you? In our time, we had to go through this village, bi-communal village of Pila. I know the previous panel was about the artificial intelligence, the use of World Wide Web and all of these things, but in our times at least, even Google did not exist, so it was a bit difficult for us to interact. But I think the new generation also is finding ways of getting over these hurdles. And do you guys also continuously communicate? How do you guys regularly meet?
So we actually do Google Meets every week. Not most every week, every week, yeah. And sometimes we come to home for collaboration and we just have a group time and we actually see what we have been up to and what we can create in the future.
So how big is the group?
Of course, we talk every day. There's 5 of us, mainly. Of course, there are other people who want to get involved, and we're waiting to get on them. People want to join this initiative. That's what we've realized when we were in Belgium. That's why we realized that there's demand for this, and that's why we need to continue this. Currently, it's me, Maria, Eylul, Christos, Neil, and Yasmin. Neil is currently in France. She couldn't be here, and Yasmin is also a bit busy. That's why they couldn't make it, but they love this, and they're probably looking online, live, and they're very happy that we get this opportunity.
Great. I want to ask Eylul as well about because we talked about some of the difficulties of the Cyprus problem. And I was wondering what type of difficulties are we talking about?
Okay, so what type of difficulties? Okay, so personally, one of the biggest problems that's stopping me from getting involved is that my family is from Turkey. I was born here, but I never have the rights of a Cypriot that was born here. I've never been able to see the south part of my country, but through research, I know that there are actually many beautiful places to visit and see on the south side, but unfortunately, I cannot see this, even though I have nothing to do with the events of the past. I feel like I am paying the penalty. I have penalty for something my ancestors did. Even if I live in Cyprus, I sometimes feel like I don't belong here. Even if there's event on the south side, I can't attend because I can't cross to the whatever you call it, borders or green line. I know how pathetic this is, but this is unfortunately the reality of the country that we live in. So, yeah, and one of the things that I want to add that I flew alone when I'm going to Belgium because I don't have a European Union passport or ID, so that I flew alone, and it was just kind of scary and lonely experience for me because all of my friends like Maria, Christos, and Neil, and Yasemin flew from south side. And this was really hard for me because I wanted to be a part of my team when I was in there and talk with them, laugh with them, enjoy with them, and have the excitement of traveling alone with my friends. And I wasn't able to do that, of course. But yeah, I know there are many people like me, and we all want to be the voice of people who cannot attend these events like this, and who cannot express themselves, or even if they do, who cannot hear them. We want to be their voices with all of my team, of course. And I didn't think it would take such a big part of my life, in peace building like this, but now I want this country and Cypriots like me to have all of their rights. So yeah, and lastly, I was born here. I'm a Cypriot, and yet I don't have the rights, same rights as Cypriot that happen to be born in the south. And I don't have a Cypriot ID or passport, and who knows when or if I ever going to be able.
Eylul, thank you very much for sharing this very personal very personal experience. You are, of course, founders of the United Youth of Cyprus as well, which is a testament in itself. The Cyprus problem may be comfortable for some people, but clearly it is not comfortable for young people. So it's not a comfortable situation. The conflict continues, and I think what you guys are doing is something fascinating. And it blew our minds when we heard of these stories as well. But maybe it's just to come back to the joint initiative, to the United Youth of Cyprus, and what the United Youth of Cyprus also wants to do, because we are taking a lot from the things that you are saying, but these messages need to be multiplied. These messages need to get out there. And is this one of the aims of United Youth of Cyprus? And what other aims do you guys have? I'll give it to my town mates. To my Limassolian town mates to answer this question.
So our aim is to bring them together. Our aim is to bring the youth so they can understand that there is still hope to this country, and we can actually do something about it. We want to build values, respect, empathy, love, kindness, and what else?
I feel like on the topic of hope, one thing that I remember was on our last day at the short course, we had people wishing us a united island, or Cyprus to be whole again. And I remember some of us even cried when we heard that. And it was so easy for them to think about that and dream about that, and for them to think, yeah, we cannot wait to see it on TV, you know, the news. But for us, I don't know, I feel like as time went on, we kind of lost hope, right? It's been half a century, right? But that's the thing that we need. We need to have hope. We need to remain having hope, of course. We need to talk to each other. And what Christos was trying to say, I feel like, was getting people involved, getting people together, creating communities, giving them resources, giving them platforms for them to speak. And as United of Cyprus, we want to give the youth a platform to speak. We want their issues to be represented. Just like Eylul's issue. There are many girls and just people like Eylul who are struggling with this thing, and their voices matter.
I think what you've just said is a realization that many people reach 50, 60, maybe even older, and never reach, right? So at least personally, for me to hear something like this from people like yourself, it's hope. This in itself is hope. And keeping that always in mind, I wanted to go back. I mean, Eylul talked about some of the challenges that she has faced, both within the community and in engaging with the other community, which I am guessing a lot of youth also in the north face. I wanted to focus a little bit the youth in the south. What are some of the challenges that you think youth face in engaging? What is it that's stopping them from engaging? And I mean, this can be from personal experience, or it can be from your observations of the generation that you are from.
Personally, I feel like I'm going to speak from my own experience and my own city. There's a lot of prejudice, and I feel like we need to talk about that, and we need to talk about how and where did that prejudice even came from, right? Of course, we're talking about education, we're talking about family influences, but I really want to talk about this one example. I have a friend who immigrated to Cyprus when they were 8 years old. Their parents have absolutely nothing to do with the Cyprus problem. They were not taught anything in the family sphere, but she did go to a public elementary school, and she told me how after her going to a public elementary school, she came out of that hating Turks and Turkish Cypriots. Of course, she changed, and she started attending workshops about communal and intercommunal activities. Their name is Marfa. They are really active, and they're doing a lot. But even that example of itself, it speaks for itself. how our education instills hatred into us. Even I, like, when I went to school and I tried to talk about the things that I'm working on, right? I even had friends go against me and tell me that what I'm doing is wrong and just be really rude to me because of it. It's my own experience. There's a big problem with that. And even when I asked my friends, hey, do you want to maybe join in on this workshop and stuff? But they would tell me, why would I want to do that? Why would I want to go to the north? All of the things that they think.
So may I ask you the same question, whether you have a different experience or whether you share part of this experience?
So I believe that one of the biggest obstacles is the education system. In many cases, it continues to teach a narrow view of history. I mean, like the history notebooks, and we still have a lot of outdated thinking and closed-mindedness in our education, and that can prevent young people from participating through these initiatives and from being open to peace and collaboration. One more reason that I believe young people do not participate and are not involved is that it's about another factor is family influence. Many of our families have lived through difficult times, and their experiences shape how we view the other community. While this is understandable, it sometimes keeps us locked and in the past rather than focusing on building a better future. So
I feel like I want to add how even in books and history, we don't really make a distinction between Turks and Turkish Cypriots, which is a big deal as well. But also how we're not taught the whole story, how we're not taught how both sides have experienced pain, how both sides have suffered from this. We're so focused on only one side's pain and we don't acknowledge the other. We think that we are the only victims here, when that's simply not true. We're all victims in this, and this is not Victim Olympic, okay? It's not about who's the biggest victim, who has lost the most. It's about acknowledging each other's pain, healing it, and moving forward.
Thank you.
So we have to overcome those barriers. So I believe that if we focus only on ourselves and don't consider the values and the needs of the other community, we won't be able to contribute to real peace. To move forward, we need to break free from old ways of thinking and start seeing each other as equals.
This session could not have been more political. Probably this is the most political session that we have. But I mean, yes, I mean you are speaking your hearts out. It's really, I mean, what we are hearing amazes us. But yes, I couldn't agree more. We couldn't agree more with the things that you guys are saying.
Value-based positions, politics, whatever. Oops,
It's okay.
sorry, that's my mic. Whatever you want to call them, I think it's something that we are currently missing, right? So what you guys bring to the conversation is a return to basics, a return to tolerance, to respect for the person. This is not without undermining the political positions of every side, but it's about talking about the basics, the values. And I think this is at least from my perspective a huge contribution that you bring. And to my perspective, I was going to ask you the question, but maybe I can comment on the question. I think this is where at least you as a group differ from older generations. I'm not saying that older generations have not tried to do quite a lot for peace. I think different times, different difficulties, but I think you, the three of you, the five of you, and the group which I think is expanding, have a very healthy, and not only healthy, a very core way of looking at peace moving forward. And maybe this brings me to my question about talking about values and making that personal change and transitioning that into a bigger change in society and in youth. requires bringing about a change, right? And I think, at least in my experience, one of the big problems of the Cyprus problem is the no change, the inability to change things. Do you think this is something that is also holding youth back, the inability to change things? And what do you think can be done to overcome something like this? Can I give the floor to Christos first for his thoughts?
So, in my opinion, I believe that we need to do a better job of informing the youth about how they can get involved, so they can be active citizens and make a difference. So many young people aren't aware of the opportunities given to them. They're often disconnected from peace-building initiatives because they don't receive enough information or are taught to focus on their own community. So that's
the ability to change, right? Personally, as you were asking the question, I thought about two workshops. One workshop was, well, we're talking about values. We had recently a workshop at the EWC Peace Forum, and we had a section talking about values, and we had meetings about it, and how we wanted to focus on that, on why people are alike, right, and what makes us human. On the topic of change, I remember we had another workshop at Belgium where what we realized is something is kind of get lost when we're talking, and like we basically, when it comes to Cyprus problem, many people have, of course, tried to solve it, right? But we don't really know what. Sorry, in a room, right? We have a Turkish-speaking, the community from north, south, whatever. Yeah. We don't know what's going on there. We don't know what they agree or disagree on. The doors are closed for us. We don't get to decide anything. We don't know what they agreed or disagreed on. And that's a big problem, like for all of us, not only youth, right? And of course, as Christos said, we need to get involved. And actually, when you talk about barriers that the young people face, I feel like it kind of starts within them as well, and the beliefs that they have themselves that have been instilled in them, that they cannot change things, right? Even I myself, when I was younger, people would tell me, my family would tell me, you cannot change the world, Maria. You cannot change the world. You cannot change things. You cannot change the system. Everyone always says that. Everyone throws that around, right? But, I have a quote on my phone that I wanted to read. Give me a second, please.
Absolutely.
Okay, it's apparently from Stephen Jobs, but if it isn't, if the internet lied to me, please forgive me, okay?
No?
Okay.
Please.
Because, life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact. Everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you, and you can change it. Once you learn that, you'll learn you'll never be the same again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No. Okay, so I think we are okay for time, so maybe what we can do is ask a couple of questions as closing, maybe, reflections. Looking ahead, how do you see, what are your hopes for the initiative? How do you see youth contributing, more concretely, as you've just mentioned, to a more peaceful future? And what is it you think that you, taking small steps, can change?
Okay.
Maybe I can start with Maria and then go to Eylul.
Okay, there's so many things to say. Well, of course, I believe that change starts within us first, with us. And even when you said about how small steps, can lead to big things. I was even reading a book about that, about how if we're only 0.1% better every day, how big that change, Can you repeat the questions again, please?
So, absolutely. So the question was the hopes for your initiative, and also how do you see youth contributing to a more peaceful future with the small steps that you guys are starting to take? Okay,
so our hope for initiative. We really hope to expand, really want to expand. We want to have thousands of youth being members, being part of this. And honestly, we do want them to even create and lead their own workshops one day. Right now we're starting this. We're going to be the ones leading them, helping them, right? And even thing that we're doing is because of the people who came before us. And I do want to address that, because without all the efforts that the people in this same room and in this panel have made and strived, we wouldn't be here. I mean, the organizations, the workshops that we've attended, they made us who we are. They led to this. Without them, we wouldn't be here. Our dreams would be dreams, and we might not even be here, like literally at this panel. We have this initiative. We hope to expand. We hope to... I think I'm done. I think that's what I want to say.
So I believe that we, as a young people, youth is open-minded and can be the change makers of this future. And we can change the world, of course, in our country, and save it from the unhappy situation that we live in right now. Because young people like us have many things that not everyone else has. Everyone has different perspectives, different views, different backgrounds, but that doesn't matter because we are all human at the last one. But when these comes together, like our backgrounds, our different backgrounds, different perspectives, different views, we become a very strong society. Our experiences shape our perspectives and allowing us to understand comparator issues deeply. So yeah, I believe that. Yeah.
Yeah, as you both said, I believe that the youth plays the biggest role in peace. The most important role in peace building, because we're the next generation and who will shape the future. The decisions we make today will have a lasting impact, and it's crucial that we get involved in the process of creating a peaceful and united society, because if we don't start now, learning how to engage now, we will only be repeating the mistakes of the past. So we want to expand, basically.
We wish you all the best, and I think you have a growing community also around you of all ages that want to be able to support, that want to see more youth involved. You know, you see in a lot of statements people say, you know, we need more youth involvement, but youth involvement also needs to be driven by youth initiatives like yourselves, because it's one thing for, you know, people of older generations to say, yes, we've made a seat for youth, and it's a very different thing for youth to also conceptualize how they want to contribute, because I think that's what also drives change. That's what also brings change.
For me, I mean, I'm also a person who comes from youth activism and all of these things, and this was something which was missing in the Cyprus landscape, at least for the last 20 years. I mean, there have been something which wasn't right. What you guys are doing, it's not only that it gives hope, it is something which almost had been forgotten. I mean, this area had been left to young people of mainly, I'm going to say, the political parties, and they just politicized the issue to a level that it became a polarized situation, whereas now with the civil society activism, what you guys are doing, the diverging and diversity that you guys are bringing is phenomenal. And I think it is also very important. My last words would be that you shouldn't even accept to be the next generation. You are the generation. You are the generation which has to make the change, because this next thing is a fallacy which is told to the youth. Youth is the ones who is going to make the change, not anyone else, to be honest with you.
So I would like to close off or conclude our session with maybe, I know we've run a little bit over time because of late to start. I'd like to give you each the floor to maybe give a message. So if there was one message that you could share with other youth about peace building, what would that be? So maybe I'll start with Christos and then move to...
So for me, one thing I would say to young people that they have the chance to make a real impact on our communities and the world. We are at a point in history where our voices matter, and we can drive change. And now is the time for us to take initiative. We are in a powerful position to make a difference, and we must seize this opportunity. If we don't, we may one day face our children and hear them ask, "You had the chance to do something, then why didn't you?" Let's not let these moments slip away. Together we can build a future defined by peace and collaboration. We have the power to be the change we want to see in the world, and it starts with us.
Thank you for that, Christos.
The one thing that I want to add to this question, do it because they said you couldn't. I think it is important because one of my friends said, "Are you going to keep the peace in Cyprus?" I said, "Yes, we will." And yeah, and this gives me hope. I think success is a decision. It's not something that you're going to So this is my message.
Personally, I would say to have perseverance, because you're going to have to face some obstacles in your life. There are going to be people who are going to go against you. That's just part of life, being human even. I really want to put emphasis on that, to have perseverance, to be consistent. Those are the two keys to success in any regard in life, I would say. And to, of course, heal, to keep healing yourself, to keep healing others, to keep trying to be better, to keep admitting that you make mistakes and that you're trying to learn.
Perfect.
Maria,
Yes,
Eylul,
Christos. And
Christos.
Christos. I think we've spoken about hope. I think we have also seen what hope can look like. So give it up for the group.